And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Almost late there as we get this day underway. 72, a little warmer today. And did I mention warmer? Oh, we got a little fog through about 9 a.m., but it's going to get warm. 92 today as we'll lose that 80-degree temperature. I sure hate that. I was enjoying that. It was so almost picture perfect yesterday afternoon when I was walking back over to the studio. Nice. Like cool weather in the fall. We're almost there. Not too much left, and we'll be dead on target like that. How are you today? I certainly hope you're having a wonderful day as we begin this. As we said, be careful with fog. We'll get into your radar and show you those areas here in just a little bit of where that is this morning. Right now, let's go to Collinsville. Let's get our day started. A big welcome to WMOX Radio for joining us as well. We appreciate y'all. We'll be right back as we go to First Baptist there in Collinsville.
Ever seen someone who just has it all, right? They've got looks, confidence, charisma, athleticism, wit, you name it, they have it. Well, whoever we are, we know we're created to glorify God. And that was the case for Samson. He had been dedicated even before his birth as a Nazarite to live for and give God glory. You know, in this, God gave Samson immense strength and a lot of gifts. Yet Samson, like all of us, he struggled along the way. He didn't make the right move all the time, and perhaps his greatest weakness was love for Philistine women. This was an issue because they worshipped Dagon, the god of fertility and harvest in their culture. And you know, it seemed that Samson's primary love interest, Delilah, was no different. Therefore, by falling in love with her, he invited the influence of false worship, gods, and living into his life. Still, the Philistines hated Samson, and they went to Delilah to take him down. And though he led her astray a few times, kind of messing with her, he finally confessed that if his hair was cut, the strength he had been given from God would leave. Wickedly, she cut his hair while he slept, and they captured him. And then they gouged out his eyes while they put him to work grinding grain as a slave. See, sometimes the blessings that God allows us to have can make us sloppy and careless as we follow Him. We begin to think, kind of like we discussed the other day, that we're the star of the show. But notice that it was never Samson's strength for Samson to boast in. It was God's. And though patient with him, God removed his strength as he continued to disobey. Friends, if we desire to see God move and bless our lives, we must remember that it is He who gives us the strength to live out the lives He's called us to. So, was Samson to grind grain for all his days until he died? No, it's quite the opposite. His hair grew back, as did his focus on the Lord. As he was led out in front of all of the Philistine leaders to essentially be a circus attraction, he asked to have his hands placed on the middle columns, and praying to God, he pushed those columns down, killing all of the Philistine leaders along with himself. At his birth, he had been set apart to live a life in complete surrender to God. And though he took some detours and wrong turns, he finished well. So this is the case for you and I. You, if you're like me, you've made mistakes and you felt the consequences. But if you know God, you know He hasn't given up on you. Don't give up either, and look to Jesus for all you have. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Hope you enjoyed that message. Collinsville First Baptist. They'll be opening up bright and early Sunday morning. They'd love to have you as a patron of the church, a visitor, however you want to word that. Come by, celebrate little Jesus with them. Don't forget, the doors are open. The official grand opening will be this morning at 9 a.m. as the ribbon cutting ceremony will happen. But if I understand this right, we did an interview yesterday as we went by. Chick-fil-A on the 22nd Avenue, the gateway to downtown Meridian, will be opening up here in just a little bit. It's open now, and there's a picture of that. The cow there out at the excavator. It's already open. This is the interview where we went inside to take a look yesterday. And if I remember correctly, he told us that if you dress as some form of a cow, you get a free entree today.
That's it.
I've been urging Odie to go down and do some mooing, and he hadn't left yet. So don't forget that. That is opening a big deal. I'm sure that there's already a crowd there. 22nd Avenue, located in front of the Lauderdale County Courthouse and next to the Meridian Police Department there as you come into downtown Meridian. Ought to be good there. We'll be going down right after the second show this morning and joining for all the activities there as the ribbon cutting takes place. But go by and enjoy yourself. That will be good there. We'll talk a little bit more about this. And tell me if I'm pronouncing this guy's right. He's the guy with the spiked up blonde hair that drives the Camaro. Ferry? Is that how you pronounce it? Guy Ferry. He's going to be opening up his first restaurant in Alabama. It's chicken inside a Walmart. And if you're wondering who that guy is, it's this guy. I Googled him. That's what he looks like there. It's Ferry? Is that how you pronounce it, Odie?
Something like that.
We're close. I know you were wanting to say Ferrari, but that wasn't it. But look for more of those to come. That's different. I wasn't expecting that. So what else is going on today? They did a raid out in Los Angeles, and I call it a raid to where ICE shows up. So many people were arrested. They had 11 employees. 9 of them went to jail. They had to shut down the car wash for the rest of the day. At some point, people know that they're hiring people that are not citizens of the U.S. of A. Without a doubt. But that did happen there. Ron DeSantis says it hadn't stopped business. We are not able right now to let new people in, but it has not been shut down. And what I'm talking about is alligator Alcatraz. Still doing business. There are those that are trying to have it shut down, but it's still working there. I don't watch a lot of NBC, but this goes back a few years. And after doing a couple quick readings of this, I've realized there's been several shows that this happened to. This was a guy named Chris Hansen. Let me show you his picture. This is his picture from Wikipedia. This guy, he was a reporter for NBC. He had a TV show called To Catch a Predator, and it's just exactly what you're thinking, to where they kind of entice somebody that may be after underage people. And they moved in on a suspect, and as the cops were getting ready to arrest him, he shot himself. The show was immediately canceled, and none of that ever aired. I did not realize that. A lot of that. So what was the one that was real famous years ago, Odie, to where they'd be set up in the motel room and they would come through the door? I can't remember it, but this has happened several times to catch people doing things. The one I most enjoyed was where they'd set up the dummy car, and it would crank up and they'd get half a block and the doors would lock and they couldn't get out. That works. Close the door and catch them there. This is a thought, and if it was ever going to be fixed, it's been brought up a lot. Federal income tax. Y'all realize how much comes out of your check with this? Is it close to a third of what you make is given to the government? This would probably change later, but it's a thought that has been floated by the president. These tariffs that are out there, that they would replace the federal income tax that you pay. That's what, can y'all imagine? Man, that would be major for the American public. There's even talk about this tax that you're taxed on your home that you never really own. I don't care how you slice it, how you want to put it. It's just like Canada in the end. Canada, you don't own your property. You lease it each year. Here in America, you buy it and then you still lease it from the government with that tax each year, don't you? Something ain't right. We're getting taxed to death. Had that little Boston Tea Party one time, didn't we? Kash Patel says that the FBI's Operation Box Cutter worked great. 22 indictees from Chinese nationals happened, and they took in a lot of fentanyl. It was big. They took down, as it gets into this, as an international operation. 22 Chinese nationals were indicted, 4 chemical companies, and 3 Americans were arrested. They said they seized enough fentanyl to kill 70 million Americans, plus 270,000 more pills. Wow. We just don't know, do we? That's what goes on behind the scenes with this stuff. Now, I'm trying to think of the wording that I want to put on this. I'm going to show you a picture here in just a moment from X, which is Twitter. Now, I watched a show one time, and it may still be on. I don't know. It was called something like My Crazy Fetish. What you do in your home after work is your business. You know, although I may find it weird, kinky or whatever. It's still your business what goes on behind closed doors. And the episode that I watched was this woman who thought she was a horse. No, I'm not kidding you. There was another one that ate the stuff out of the mattress, but this woman that thought she was a horse put a bridle in her mouth, and she put like a thing on the back of her hair like the horsetail, and she would run around in her backyard and she'd go, "Nyeh," and she'd pull her bridle. Craziest thing I've ever watched. Do I think that's great? No, but if you do it in your backyard and it's your business, then so be it. If you want to be a horse, you just go play a horse. When you start messing with children, with your whatever it is that you do, it's a different thing. We go to Colorado on this, and let me show you the school here. Here's the school, and they've taken down their Twitter account where they've done this. PSD Mountain School. This is in Colorado. Now, I'm going to show you where this was taken down. Well, it doesn't show it on this one. Here it is. As you'll see, it's blank now. They took this down. But they featured a teacher, and it's my understanding this was on the account of the school. And we wonder sometimes how our children have different views of life and they end up the way they are. Teachers are very instrumental in teaching our children at an early age of what they're going to become. As you remember watching Little House on the Prairie, it was very important. It was very strict. Now, this is what the school posted from my understanding there. And we'll put it as allegedly. It's been taken down. But here's the... and if you'll see there on the right, it says teacher, music teacher there. Again, that's been since taken down. It was captured before they did. There's nothing more important than and again, if you want to dress like that or do whatever it is in your home, then go for it. But for the school to... Colorado also... and this is from the state there. This is one of their slogans there for the state there. Talking about being square, they're not square. Different is all we'll say there. I think this is all talk. He'll occasionally do that, President Donald J. Trump. I think we learned from the very first debate that he and Rosie O'Donnell didn't get along. Did we not? Yeah, she's not taking too kindly to it, as he's mentioned several times that he has thought of revoking her citizenship to the United States. And of course, she moved out of here, went somewhere else. He's probably not going to do that. It's a thing that he knows that he gets under her skin, so he brings it up every once in a while. That's my best guess on that. They have formally, on paper, it hasn't happened yet, but on paper, the paperwork's been sent over to the Pentagon there for military assistance. Guess where they're headed? There's two places that's being mentioned. This one on the paperwork side is Chicago. That'd be Illinois. Chicago. There's also talk about New Orleans. As we all know, New Orleans is corrupt. That girl stays there a lot, but it is a lot of things that goes on in New Orleans that needs to be fixed. And it's talk about troops may go there and straighten out the crime there. The mayor of Chicago, as I bring him up, has been shot down. They even tried to get people elected on the city council that would help his bid. He wanted to borrow $200 million to do more to the schools. It didn't pass. Not one bit there. How many, Odie, tell me how many feet, the flag we've got out on I-20, that hill, how tall is that thing? It's pretty big, isn't it?
It's pretty big.
I go to the state of Utah because one man done it. He's proud of America. He's 78 years old. He's got a little cattle ranch. He's got a little hill on his property, and he put up a 130-foot flagpole. Looks great. Old Glory waving there across Utah, becoming pretty much a fixture in that little town there in Utah. I mentioned yesterday about this guy. He's a Democrat that's going to be retiring. Gerald Nadler, you know what I'm talking about? He's 78. He's going to be retiring. He's not going to seek re-election. Guess who's already talking? They want it. JFK's grandson, Jack. Can he get elected? I don't know. He's got a following on YouTube. He does a little political show on there. Maybe. We'll see. Will it continue? It's not a whole lot going on with the Kennedys anymore. They are against the one that we've got in there, RFK. They're totally against him. Levi. I used to wear only nothing but Levi. That's Levi jeans. They were good. They probably still do. They gave to so many different things that got under my skin. I just quit wearing it. It got to the point to where I didn't want to support something that didn't support my beliefs, so I quit wearing them. They're issuing a statement that's saying overseas that companies and countries are starting not to buy American products because they don't like Donald. I don't know where the company stands, if that's a political stunt or not, just bringing it up. Is this a good idea? Is it an overreach of the government that a parent should be doing? And I'm talking about in England, as we look at the UK. Energy drinks. If you've ever dealt with this stuff, you have to be very careful of not to drink too many. It can do damage to your heart. But they are looking at, in England, to ban anybody under the age of 16 of being able to purchase any. Is it an overstep of the government? Should the parents be handling this? Is this something that doesn't even need to be said? Or has it reached that point where the government really does need to do something? I don't know that. This is a story that you don't hear every day. I can remember, and I don't watch the big three when it comes to network news anymore. It's so slanted that you have to be careful of where you get your headlines. But I do remember the last time I watched it, it's been some years ago, you'd see this countless people headed toward the United States in what they called caravans back then, wasn't it? I think that's what they used to call it. They had 14,000 turn around and go back where they come from. They're starting to figure out you can't just get in anymore. 14,000 turn around, went back home. I believe we brought this up on Tuesday morning. Florida State University football player that was shot. Do y'all remember that being brought up? We're getting a little bit more details of this. Ethan Pritchard, the football coach, had a chance to go to the hospital and be with him. He said just a few minutes is limited time that you can get into the emergency room. But as we look at this story, it wasn't an argument. It wasn't a fight that he was in. He was driving his aunt from one home to her home and rounded the corner, and as they did, gunfire broke out. He would be struck, and he slumped over the steering wheel. He was shot in the back of the head. We do hope he recovers. Family members are worried about him, and so rightly so. Keep a little prayer for that family there. It was uncalled for. Someone injured for no reason. Puppy dogs, how many times, my dogs do it every night. Should there be a piece of meat on the table, they're going to beg. Sophie will come up and sit next to me and stare at me, and if I don't talk to her, eventually her paw goes on my leg of, hey, I'm down here. And then Ellie, on the other side of me, starts crying. I call it crying with her whining. They want a piece of meat. They're trying to tell us now that being a vegan is better for puppy dogs, that meat's not good for them. I'd have to tell you that over in Texas, they don't believe that. They're going to be banning the sale of lab-grown meat. That's what they're doing in Texas. Let's see here. Trump also, and then we'll get on to the weather after this. Trump yesterday during a press conference, they had a guy in there from Poland who was a reporter. He made the statement to Trump that, well, you're not being hard enough on Putin. And that's when he asked him where he was from. He said, son, I think you need to get a new job. He doesn't hold back whatsoever there. We've got more to come. We're going to get into the weather forecast next. That's a few of the headlines that are shaping America and the world this morning. We'll be right back with your weather. That's all next.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Heblon Heating and Air Conditioning to save the day. We can keep you comfortable with special savings for your home, like up to $3,000 off new HVAC, $69. Keep the power on with a generator. Get $200 off installs and 0% financing for 60 months. We do it all at Heblon Heating and Air Conditioning and offer financing options for any repair or installation. Call for a free quote or visit us online at HeblonHeatingandCooling.com.
Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs, your local pharmacy and gift shop, thanks you for your continued support. Whether you shop with us in-store, through our app, over the phone, or in our drive-thru, our team will provide the best personalized customer service experience you expect from your local pharmacy. When you call or message us, you are promptly greeted by the Mr. Discount team that's ready to help. When you choose our pharmacy, you're choosing a locally owned pharmacy that cares about you and your community. Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs makes a difference.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
And welcome back as we get this day underway. As we go over to Alabama, this is what we're expecting, around 91 in Demopolis there. Tuscaloosa should see 91. Cooler in Birmingham there at 89, but still warm across the state there as you go east to there. Selma 91, Montgomery 91, and Auburn a tad cooler. We should see 89 there today. Here's what we've got. Starting to see warmer weather move into the southwest corner of Mississippi. Kind of normal in most parts. Still a cooler in eastern Bama on up through the Carolinas there. What do we got going on for the next 7 days? Here's our forecast. 91 today. That's going to be warm. Where we've been in those 80s, it's getting warmer there. A little bit of fog chance this morning. We'll look at radar in a moment. Even warmer tomorrow with a high of 95 to end our week. As we move into Saturday, a slight chance of showers there with a 20% chance. 86 is our high on Sunday. And look at this as we go back to work next week. It gets better. 83 on Monday and Tuesday, and then we'll see 86 by Wednesday. So a little bit of cool down, slight chances of rain each day there. We'll warm back up by Thursday of next week, a week from today, back up into the 90s and hold steady in the 90s to midweek around the 17th, 18th, right around in there is what we're seeing for September. Nothing horrible, no three-digit weather, but it's still warm to say the least. Those heat indexes get warm, don't they? Let's check out our fishing forecast as we look at that this morning. It looks to be around 5 miles an hour wind, 829 is a great time to go fishing today, around 10:30, and we should see some minor fishing this afternoon between 4:30 and 5:30. Sunrise happened at 6:31. Sunset rolls in at 7:16. That's what we're looking at there. Now, as we look to the tropics today, we pull this up. This is starting to grow a little bit. 80% chance there of this becoming something. We're going to look at what's happening toward Hawaii in a moment. We'll watch this over the next days. Will this turn? Watch those spaghetti models as they'll start to develop. As we go to radar, let's pull up live radar instead of a screenshot. Let's go back over here and take a look. Here's what we've got. A little bit of fog to the north of us at this point. Let's zoom in on this so you can see this is going to be around Starkville, northern Winston County. Now, there's still chances here in this low-lying area that we could have fog all around here through about 9 a.m., so be careful on that. No rain picking up in the state of Mississippi. We do have a little bit here north of Millbrook, around Clanton, Alabama. A few showers this morning. Nothing horrible, but some thunderstorm activity there. A little bit of fog back in Texas there due north of Beaumont. As we look at this, let's pull over here and take a look. This is what is some concern. Hawaii. Look at this. This is a Category 4. This is Kiko. Category 4 with 144 mile an hour winds, gust of 133. Those millibars at 944 moving west at 9 miles an hour. This could head toward the islands there before too long. Watching it carefully. There you go. So, a little bit of that going on. We hope all that works out as that storm heads toward Hawaii. Hopefully it will stay on course as we got it as a Cat 4 now. It will downgrade to a 1 before it reaches there. Still would do a lot of damage there. As we go out into the Gulf of America, a few showers there to the west of Florida around Sarasota. These portions there. Key West showers this morning as well. And again, hasn't built up enough to show up on radar yet, but we're watching that system that is out in the Atlantic that could come up that East Coast. We'll see what happens with that watching it. The morning show kicks off in about 3 to 4 minutes from now. I certainly hope you'll join us back for that. We'll get into everything that's gone on over the last 24 hours. What went on at Walmart? We'll tell you what was going on up there as it was shut down. You couldn't go. All that's coming up at the top of the hour. Won't you join us right here at the Scotty Ray Report? We'll see you then.